Hi, data. So data is everywhere, right? It's all over the place, right? And why is data important, and how is it even useful to us? In most of the companies that I engage with, what we've seen is I think data gives is probably the only competitive advantage that companies has. And why is it so? It's primarily because I think we live in a rapidly evolving world, right, with the customer preferences also rapidly evolving. How can companies be one step ahead of that, right? And that's where the data really comes in. If you can really figure out what the customers want, what the customers need, whether they've been able to articulate it or not able to articulate it, right, then the companies can really figure out and provide customers what they need and what they want than companies providing the customers what they have. And that makes a huge difference. And why is it going to be a huge competitive advantage is because most of the companies could really figure out your marketing collateral, the kind of partners that you're working with, right? They are not able to figure out why are you doing whatever you're doing. It's so hard, and that gives a huge advantage. And over a period of time, the more data that you accumulate, the more insights that you can garner from that data, right? One can personalize and customize solutions to the customers, and that's how you build a brand. You drive loyalty, you drive commitment from your customers, and that's the reason the data is extremely important, right? And just the way the oil changed civilization in the 19th and the 20th century, data is now playing that role currently. It's not that data is a new thing and we didn't really have data earlier. It's just that getting access to data, storing data, processing that data has become so commonplace because of the kind of technology that we have come across, right? That has really made data a huge asset for people. Earlier in the 19th and 20th century, it was oil, right? The countries who were mostly deserts, right, because of access to oil, they become extremely richer. Now companies who have got access to data, right, the Googles, the Facebooks, the Amazons, the Netflix of the world, the FANG, right? So they are the ones who have become large conglomerates, right? So there was OPEC on one side, now we have FANG on the other side. That's how data is really playing into people's minds and people's assets. So just because someone has data, they have a huge competitive advantage. They can personalize and customize it, right? Can anybody do this? It's a yes and a no, right? And data is not really straightforward. Just like oil, you need to probably get the crude oil, refine it, process it, try and distribute it, and do that. Similar to that, right? Data has also we need to really look at what kind of data we need to collect. How do we go about collecting, right? What do we do with the collected data? We need to massage the data to really figure out whether the data is what data that we think it is what it is, and after that analyze the data and then do it, right? And then start using it and take feedback and probably go in cycles. So there are certain similarities between data and oil that way, but there are certain dissimilarities also, right? When you really look at data, the oil, it's a one-off use case. Once you burn the oil, it's exhausted. But with data, it's not the case. You can keep reusing the data, keep reusing the data. And oil is a bit challenging to transfer. Data is instantaneous and a lot more easier to transfer, right? And more data that you gather, the better the insights are. More oil you have, nothing much really changes, right? Because the marginal utility of oil for every single addition of liter of oil, right, it more or less remains the same. But with respect to data, every additional data takes you into a completely different orbit. The more data you have access to, the more one can possibly do, right? So data is easily shareable, easy to store, right, easy to make sense of, right, and easy to build on. And it's not really a one-off use case. That's how it works. And if you don't get this data collection right, all right, so it would effectively becomes garbage in and garbage out, right? And that would probably set companies on a completely different path, and that becomes a huge challenge. So people have to really start taking care of what do we process, how do we go about doing it, and how are we going to leverage all that. It's extremely important and critical. And it's And the thing about data is, it's not that data is going to give only companies advantages, not necessarily others. It's not about that. I think the value of data is probably the difference between life and death. So if you really look at healthcare, the amount of what data has really done is changed the way we look at healthcare in terms of diagnosing diseases. For example, I think if you look at breast cancer, if you only look at all the data, all the chest X-rays and the mammograms, right? So the one the machines look at it, I think they were predicting at breast cancer at 94% accuracy. And if you look at practicing doctors, they were predicting breast cancer at 96% accuracy. Right, obviously the humans are better than machines, but the thing is, if you combine both the machine-led data and the practitioners, and we went up to 99.5% accuracy, right? That's a phenomenal change, right? And that's the difference. So if you combine data with people, right, one can do wonders with it. And that I think is where the real value of data comes in, and that is something that one has to really look at it, right? It's not just consumer companies, it's about in the healthcare, in the pharma business also, and in terms of fraud and detection and even prevention, predicting markets, right? How the markets would really go, right? And how do we even look at risk, right? There are multiple ways you can leverage data. Initially, it was the companies that started coming in, right, to really look at how to leverage data and how to make sense of the data and how to use that data to provide better services to customers. Over a period of time, even the government started getting involved, right? And what has really happened is the private players have some amount access to some amount of data. The government has a different sets of data. Other people have got other sets of data, right? If we can combine all these things, can we do something better that would help the people itself and the government also? So for example, right, if you look at the Uber and the Ola, they have so much of data because of the cabs that they run. If you look at the Flipkart, Swiggy, Zomato, Dunzo, so they have a lot of traffic data because their courier guys, the delivery boys are all running all over the city, right? And combine that with the government data on CCTV cameras in front of traffic lights, right? CCTV cameras on the road, right? So now you can easily start predicting what is the kind of load those stretches of the road has, right? And you can start predicting, right? And you can start figuring out what is the duration of the traffic light, right? How long has it to be red? How long has it to be green? Right? Is there a way for us to divert traffic? Should we essentially make it one ways or two ways? Right? So a whole lot of things that can be done, right, if all the parties come together. So initially it was only the private parties which were looking at, then the government started looking at it. Now you have reached a stage where all of them are coming together and trying to solve this problem, because it helps everybody. That's a way looking at it. And you can come up with multiple cases, right? But it's not just public transportation, it's about healthcare also, it can put pharma as well, it is about manufacturing as well. The more data, better it is, right? And again, right, oil was good, but extensive exploitation of data oil led to significant amount of pollution, right? But extensive use of data wouldn't really result in pollution per se, but the thing is, extensive use of data, right, where do you draw the line in terms of, right, what data is usable, what data is not usable? Because because you're able to collect all the data, you don't need collect all the data and right, and start infringing on people's privacy, companies' privacy, corporates and institutions' privacy. And that's where I think someone has to really draw the line. And you must have seen across the world, right? So the US government is trying to break up Facebook, and even look at Google, the Apples, even the Amazons of the world, the kind of data that they're having access to. What are they doing with the data? Right. So those things are happening, right? And over the last couple of years, I think even the entire European Union came up with their own GDPR regulations, just because they feel that the companies are over analyzing that data, right, where they're infringing on people's privacies. Right? That's happening. That's in one way, but in other way, I think the more you understand about an individual, right, it's not just you. I mean, no, it's not about providing them with better quality services, better experiences and stuff like that, but you can possibly start manipulating them to do what you want them to do. and that's where I think the real challenge lies. And we have seen elections in few countries have been manipulated by other countries because they have access to certain data. Some companies have sold data to other people to manipulate people. So where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line on privacy? Where do you draw the line in use case and proper use case, the legitimate use cases, or right, where it turns out to be manipulation? And that's where I think the extensive leveraging of data, right, just like oil, which results into pollution, extensive and overuse of data would also lead to something which is much more much more worse in the current life of things. So where we moved from not looking at data to look at data, now we are looking at where do you draw the line. So I think so we are going through that journey, but over a period of time I think data has its own advantages, right, and it helps customers have a phenomenal experience, right, where companies possibly can leverage the data to increase the revenue or reduce their cost or provide a phenomenal experience to the customers, so that the brand really goes. A few things that I would like to add. Earlier, most of the companies were built on what the customers would articulate and would say. These days, the companies, even though they ask ask the people what they want, right, they do their surveys, right, but what they look at much more deeply is how are customers behaving, right, from through the data that they get, right. So because of which we are not just restricted to what customers articulate, we also have access to how they are engaging, and based on that we can come with a lot more insights and provide customers. I mean, to probably quote how Henry Ford said, right, if you had asked people what do they want, they would have probably said faster horses. But a great man like Henry Ford had the foresight to really say that you don't need fast horses. What you're more interested in reaching the destination sooner. That's where the cars were born. But these days, I don't think so. We get people of that kind. So that's where I think the data really comes and really helps. And most popularly, people know that right, if you have gotten, if it's not garbage and if it is good data, massage data, right, where you can garner insights out of the data. The popular thing is data doesn't lie. The customer can say whatever they want to and things like that, but if they're not really engaging the way they are saying, right, and that's where I think data doesn't lie. And so because of which people can commit, because the data doesn't lie, they believe in the data, and because of people can commit, and once people commit, you can have some phenomenal innovations need to be made, right. And even though the companies start off with a little bit of data, right, over a period of time these companies will be sitting on so much volumes of data. It's so difficult for a new entrant to really come and replace it, right, because for you to replace it you need to have such amount of data. And that's the reason all these companies who have invested in collecting all this data over the years have become so big and so powerful. It's very difficult for any new comer to really come and replace them. And that's the reason I think the governments have gotten involved, where they're looking at, okay, you guys have so much, right, and you kind of having a monopoly over all the customers, so you guys have to really properly figure out a way to break yourself or split yourself and things like that. So data has its own set of advantages, also it has its own set of disadvantages in terms of privacy, in terms of manipulating people. So just very much similar to oil, right. So oil was regulated, probably I think the governments are now looking at how do you regulate data, and so countries have really started putting up walls so that the data should not really leave their country. So because of it, the data centers are now getting placed within the countries itself, and countries have become extremely more and more particular about what data leaves their shores, right, what data is shareable, what data is not shareable, right. This kind of owners or this kind of orientation wasn't really there, let's say a few years back. So the whole data is taking the whole world by storm, right, and everyone is trying to grapple with it. So we are at a very early stage in terms of figuring out how data can be leveraged, right, what are the great use cases of data, what are probably the misuse of data. But everyone is trying to do this. But overall, right, the data has really changed the way we engage with the world, right, not just with companies but with our fellow beings, with our fellow humans, everybody, right. And I think it's probably data goes way beyond the oil, what oil was in the 19th and 20th century, right. Data is the new oil, but it doesn't really stop there, but it goes well beyond that. Thank you.